Hello, everyone, and welcome to our meditation time together. And I send my warm greetings around the globe to people all over who are participating. So, this week's topic is mindfulness of mind or mindfulness of awareness. And one of the interesting facets about our minds or our awareness is that sometimes it acts like Velcro and sometimes like Teflon. Sometimes what comes into awareness, what we know, what we see and feel and think, remember, sticks there. We get stuck. It doesn't leave us. We get preoccupied. We get caught in it, and sometimes, and actually more often than we kind of realize, the mind is more like Teflon. Awareness is like Teflon. It just slides right off. In the ancient language, they didn't have Teflon, so they talked about a drop of water sliding off a lotus leaf. Apparently, lotus leaves were quite slick for water, so it wouldn't stay. It would just slide right off. And so it's interesting to notice when it's like Velcro and when it's like Teflon. To notice that now that I've talked about this Teflon and Velcro, perhaps it's lingering in your mind. You're questioning it, wondering about it, reacting to it, and it's kind of like a little bit kind of there to stay for a little while. And then some things that are happening, maybe in this moment, you're kind of aware fleetingly in the moment, but it doesn't stay, it doesn't stick. It's just kind of there and passes through. And it could be something in the space where you're sitting that you're aware of something, but it doesn't stick in anywhere. So here in this room here where I'm sitting, there are chairs, and I've known these chairs for a long, long time, and except for now searching for it to tell you about it, I'm aware of the chairs, but they don't. Mind is Teflon with it. It just doesn't stick anywhere. It doesn't cause any thoughts, any involvement, any judgments, reactions at all. And so the chairs are going through the mind more like on the Teflon side of it. And so to notice, and maybe a simple label, simple recognition that, now awareness is more like Velcro. Things are stuck, or there's an attachment, there's an involvement. And now it's just like Teflon. Staying with the breathing in meditation, there might be all kinds of agendas about the breathing and judgments about the breathing, and then the mind awareness is more like Velcro. You might say, you might even notice that's Velcro. Velcro mind or clinging mind. And sometimes the breathing it just goes through smoothly, easily. There's no resistance to it in awareness. And the awareness just knows it. Even if the breath is a little bit labored or a little bit tight, awareness just knows it. Knows tightness, knows laboredness. There's no before and after. There's no connecting it to a narrative, a story, what it's connected to, what I have to do, and how it was yesterday, and what it should be tomorrow, and what do I have to do, and it's just an experience of the moment that kind of passes right through. So that the Teflon mind just lets things pass through. They come and they go, and they just lets them pass through. And so when you notice that's happening, you might use the label Teflon, or if you prefer, kind of, lotus leaf, or just, free. Awareness is free. Stuck and free. Velcro and Teflon. So whatever, is nice for you. But to begin to sit here and appreciate that you have both capacities. And the capacity we're cultivating and growing is the Teflon, is the lotus leaf. And maybe as you sit here, you can a little bit appreciate, emphasize that side of the mind. So assuming a comfortable, alert posture, and lowering your gaze, maybe down towards the floor, 45 degrees. And with your eyes still open, soften the focus. And then if it's nice, gently, slowly let the eyelids close. And without breathing deeply, as you exhale, relax the shoulders, the belly, the muscles of the face. And then very gently, as if the gentleness is a caring touch for yourself, take some deeper breaths. And gently, more caring for yourself as you exhale. Relax the body, let go. And then letting the breathing return to normal. And again, another round of relaxation. Relaxing the face. And any tightness associated with thinking in the area of the head. Release the shoulders. And soften the belly. And perhaps gently, caringly, you can relax deep in your core, deep in your being. A softening, a quieting within. And then become aware of the body's experience of breathing. And in this cycle of breathing in and breathing out, is any of the experience of breathing experienced more like with a Teflon mind or more with a Velcro mind? And whatever part of the breathing is more like Teflon, just passes, arises and passes, and prioritize that. Allow things just to pass right through. And when they don't, gently, caringly, recognize it as a Velcro mind, a Velcro experience. And then as we come to the end of this sitting, to consider the mind awareness when it's aware of other people. And is the mind more like Teflon or more like Velcro in its contact with people, either in person or in memory or means of communication? And it's a gift we give others to meet them with a heart that is not sticky, a Teflon heart, Teflon mind. It can be quite wonderful to hold someone's hand, but if they have, wad of bubble gum in the palm of their hand, and you feel the stickiness, it probably doesn't feel so good. Maybe part of the wonderfulness of holding a hand is that maybe when it's easy to release the hands, nothing sticks. And it's a gift to others to be fully present with nothing sticking. And to recognize when there's the Teflon mind and when the Velcro mind can support us, help us meet others with less stickiness. Chances are it's more comfortable for them. There's more room for them. They can relax. They can feel safer. It's more peaceful for them. And may it be that what we learn about attention, awareness, supports us to be more like a lotus leaf, more like Teflon, in our care, our respect, our kindness for other people. May we contribute to the happiness of others, the safety of others, the peacefulness for others, and their freedom. May all beings be happy, safe, peaceful, and free. So before I give the talk, I want to make a couple of announcements while they're still in my mind, so I won't forget tomorrow. So next week, I won't be here. I'm teaching the first in-person retreat at our retreat center, Insight Retreat Center. And Matthew Brensilver will come and give the 7 a.m. talks and guided meditation. And he's also connecting this, what he's doing for next week, kind of a little bit larger package for all of you if you want, for the IMC community, the worldwide community. And it includes some evening events and includes a Saturday day-long, week from Saturday. And you can read about that on the IMC website, both in the What's New section, on the bottom right, and also on the calendar. If you go for next week, you should be able to see these events posted there. And I'm so happy that Matthew's coming back, and with all the guest teachers that we have coming, if you're at all inclined to, if you want to make a donation for them, then the easy place to do it, I think on YouTube there's a underneath the video, there's some text about IMC, and there's a link to the donate button. And the other thing is that on December 4th and December 11th, 2 Saturdays, we're having a next round of something we did last spring, which is a mindfulness circle for Black identified individuals. So African Americans, Africans, anybody identified as Black. Anne Royce, and I think it's Kristen Wickerson, I think. I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly. Never met her. But Anne did it before, and she's bringing her friend along this time to help her. And it's an opportunity for Black identified people to meet together and have some discussions and little teachings and community around this mindfulness practice. So I see in the chat someone wrote Velcro, like Leela, the Velcro can be a heavenly messenger. That's yes. I think what we're learning to do in this practice is to recognize the challenges we have, the way we get stuck and attached, as messengers, as opposed to as enemies. And as a messenger, you don't want to kill the messenger, but you want to learn from it. You want to use that as an opportunity to wake up. And this idea of waking up is such a beautiful one, this concept that waking up, when you wake up to something, nothing changes in the world, but you now see clearly, you now understand clearly. And so maybe there is attachments in the mind, clinging in the mind, but you wake up to it, and it's kind of like you've become bigger than it, and you kind of, oh, that's what's happening. I see it. And there's something about the clear seeing of that there's freedom there. There's the process of moving into Teflon is there. So the analogy I'm using is that sometimes the mind can be more like Velcro, more like Teflon, sometimes awareness. And for this week, I'm using these kind of synonymously, mind and awareness. So mindfulness of mind, mindfulness awareness for this week are the same thing. And it's closely connected to mindfulness of the attitude, or the way in which we relate to experience. And what's happening is we practice, we're restoring, there's a restoration process of the simplicity of awareness, the most simple form that's accessible to us. And some people might want to call it the natural state of awareness. It's a little bit philosophically dangerous thing to claim, but it's kind of like that, where it just feels so healthy, so right. This is home. To have awareness which doesn't stick to anything, but allows things to arise and pass through. And so as we become mindful of awareness, of mindfulness of mindfulness, mindfulness of attention, it becomes clear that attention is operating with a certain level of porousness, transparency, non-stickiness, non-clinging. That's really, there's a clarity to the fact that, yes, there's a sound outside, and it just comes through without any waves or ripples in the mind. It's true that my knee hurts, and there's no ripples, no contractions, no stories, no agendas around it. It's known clearly, and we're awake to it, meaning we've kind of become larger than any story, agenda, reactivity, judgment. And the awareness can just be with it, feel it, with some kind of clarity, like it's Teflon, like things just roll off or allowed to just float. So the so as we do mindfulness practice, and this is not automatic for beginners, but as we do it and get deeper into the practice, at some point we become aware of the nature or the quality or the characteristics of how we're paying attention, the attitude, the engagement, the extra kind of baggage we have along with it. And one of them that's particularly significant for Buddhists is to become aware of the clinging that has us lingering on things, holding on to things, pushing against things, wanting things. And so we have to have this. As we see that clearly, and you would certainly let go of it, but it's also possible to wake up to it. And this waking up to it is the restoration of this healthy, liberated mind. And so we certainly can get relief by letting go. And that's, please let go when it's easy enough to do. But there's a whole other process that has to do with this waking up, the restoration of a clarity in which whatever happens can occur, can pass through. And so one image that's sometimes used for this is the mind becomes like an endless sky. And the sky and things, clouds, birds, all kinds of things go through the sky, but they don't stick to the sky, is the idea. The sky doesn't interfere with them, doesn't stick to it, doesn't hold on to it. The air, the sky just is kind of just lets everything go right through. So there are times when awareness can be like that, and it is not necessarily so far away, that possibility, if we associate that with this waking up. So rather than saying, how can I be mindful of this thing, we can sometimes ask ourselves, how do I wake up to its presence? How do I wake up to it here? And what's the difference between being mindful, knowing it, and waking up to it? And as I've said, it kind of associated with certainly kind of with a expansion of awareness, where awareness kind of somehow seems to be have lots of capacity to know without reacting to what is known. Lots of capacity to allow things just be there in the floating in the sky of awareness without doing anything, having an agenda, wanting anything about it. And this, and so as we practice this restoration of a healthy mind, of a free mind, of a Teflon mind, or if you prefer, a more natural, is a lotus leaf mind, where the water drops are just roll right off a lotus leaf, or a sky-like mind. And this is a very different orientation than how most minds are operating, where most minds are operating focused on what it wants or what it doesn't want. It's focused on objects of attention, objects of thought, and sometimes blinded by that, or completely preoccupied with that, stuck on it. And now we're turning the attention not exactly, it doesn't have to be away from the objects of mind, but we're shifting the focus to something that in a kind of way is bigger than or larger than any particular thing that we're thinking about or wanting or not wanting. And in that spaciousness of mind, openness of mind, stillness of mind, smoothness of mind, there is a degree of freedom. There's a degree of space. There's a kind of a healthy feeling of being alive and breathing. And then we can feel, with that as a reference point, it becomes clear when the mind gets stuck, when the mind gets caught in something, when the mind gets preoccupied. There's stickiness there. And this is one of the great functions of this practice, is we get more and more sensitive, more and more attuned to when we get attached, when we get stuck, when we get contracted, when we get preoccupied in a way that's not so healthy and useful. And that heightened sensitivity ideally doesn't lead to more stickiness, doesn't lead to more judgments and self-criticism for being caught, but becomes almost a delight. Oh, I see it here. And this is good that I see it. Great. This is the heavenly messenger, as it was said. And then to maybe ask yourself the question, how do I wake up to this now? What is it like to be awake with awareness? So, relaxation that supports a more open awareness, the recognition of awareness itself, the respecting awareness, and now the restoration of this wonderful capacity of awareness. And then tomorrow, the release of awareness. So, thank you very much.